this is Meow and today we are going to briefly talk about fluorescence in 70 to die Alpha 21. This is going to be a short video that will support my previous video about stealth build in Alpha 21. I read through some comments and there are mentions about fluorescence and how it works with the stealth build. Since all my tutorial videos are recorded in a server without fluorescence, some of you who play on servers with fluorescence might find it unrelated to you. However, I have played on many servers including mine with fluorescence on. Since fluorescence was introduced, I still play as a stealth build to test its effectiveness and for my own personal achievement. So this whole video I will show you my play through insane difficulty with fluorescence on all the time. So what is fluorescence? It's basically the option that makes zombies detect you more easily. I did mention in my stealth build tutorial that in order to play a stealth build, you will need to consider three factors: distance, noise, and light. In a fluorescent server, it basically makes zombies more sensitive to these three factors. So while you play in a fluorescent server, you will need to create more distance, make less noise, and avoid more light. I can guarantee you that after several playthroughs, the stealth build can still be played on a fluorescent server. It's just a little bit harder. But that's just in the theory view. Let's look at some tips from a more practical view. Alpha 21 still use the same system as Alpha 20. So the first tip that I will give you is not to rely on a silencer, as it's not quiet enough. A bow, crossbow, or even melee weapon is your stealth friend on fluorescent server. This doesn't mean that you can't use guns with silencer, but you will need to position yourself really far away from the zombies, especially if your weapon of choice is not a pistol. So fluorescence means you will need to be more careful of your weapon of choice. Another thing to be aware of is your surroundings. This including zombie position and map design. Every shot makes noise and you might accidentally wake someone up even if you can't see them. You will need to think of the map more in 3 dimensions rather than just what you see on the screen. Fluorescence will make stealth play more challenging. It is not unusual for you to unintentionally wake some zombie up, even if you are already be careful. In fluorescence on, you will need to stay more calm when the accident happens, even if it means you will need to take some damage and shoot more slowly. It might need some practicing, but eventually it will make you more calm, which is useful in the long run. Speaking of taking damage, remind me of my builds. So here it is, my usual routine of spending my skill point. I will prioritize stealth skills as well as agility skill, focusing on max 3 of this skill first. Now if you play on a server with nomad difficulty and lower, this might already be enough damage dealt to zombie with a proper equipment or weapon. But if you play on warrior difficulty and up, I will recommend you to further invest in the weapon skill. To max the weapon skill or not, it depends on your difficulty. If you use auto weapon outside of the agility tree, I still recommend you to spend point on weapon skills, even it might not seem to be the most efficient way to spend skill point. Usually when I play on insane difficulty, after I done with agility tree, I will further spend my points on pain tolerance skill. Even if it's the only skill that I will take in this tree, I will still go for it because it is really useful. Next, I want to mention my main enemy on fluorescent server: doors. Doors are useful as a barrier when you run and gun, but with a stealth build and fluorescence on, they become my nemesis. Due to the sensitivity of zombies to noise, most of them can wake up if your stealth meter is higher than about 15 when you are really close to them. Opening and closing a door make the meter go up by 20 points, which is loud enough to wake up the zombie in the entire area and make people think that fluorescence on makes stealth build useless, but it's just the doors. So now here comes your creativity of dealing with the doors. I usually try to avoid them and clear the area that involving door last, or try to destroy them from far away. If you cannot completely destroy a door, you can utilize the new system in Alpha 21 by making a hole and shooting through the hole of the door to reduce the number of enemies, and then later on just go in and clear it. Map knowledge is kinda crucial for stealth play in Pharaoh's Zone. It helps you understand the layout and plan your moves. Lastly, I want to mention that out of 3 factors, distance seems to be the key with Pharaoh's. You can still play during the daytime using pistol on the roof. It seems like you expose yourself to a lot of light and making a lot of noise, but if you position yourself far enough from zombies, you can still maintain stealth play and just shoot them down easily. I hope this short video conveys some useful information, but I understand it comes entirely from my experience. You might need to experiment and try it firsthand to adjust it to your playstyle. In summary, the stealth build can be played on Pharaoh's server. It doesn't change the whole stealth play, but it's just a little bit harder and might not be suitable for a stealth beginner. However, I would just say play on any setting you want. If you're comfortable with easier setting, it doesn't mean you are not a good player. Likewise, playing on higher difficulty doesn't mean it's a brag and you are better than others. People are different and games are meant to be played for fun. I think that should be the bottom line. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope it gives you some little clarification of how Pharaoh's works. So stay safe out there. Bye bye.